Good evening and welcome into the athletic department. I'm Nathan Baliva. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself to the Monmouth community. I'm the new sports information director, started here on March 1st, and I look forward to meeting everybody as we get things rolling here into the rest of this school year and into next year as well and over the summer. I have with me today Kyle Wilson, who is the women's basketball coach here at Monmouth, and Emily Tebow, the volleyball coach for us. And coaches, thank you very much for joining me today. Appreciate you guys being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's start, Kyle, with you and women's basketball, and just kind of give us a quick update on what's been going on. Obviously, didn't have a season here in the 2021 year, but what have you guys been up to and getting ready now to get into the summer?
Yeah, obviously this year's been a year unlike any other. In the fall, we did some small group individual stuff, one with the protocols we had on campus in terms of trying to keep our athletes safe. And then add on to that, we had a couple kids that studied remotely in the fall. So that kind of limited our numbers in practice and what we were able to do. So just did a lot of individual skill development, not really anything different than what we normally do as part of our practice anyway. So it was a lot of continuity for our kids and things that we already do, just to try to make sure that we were ready in the case that we did or were able to play here in second semester. Obviously, we ended up not playing as a school and conference decision. So here in second semester, we really haven't done anything basketball-wise. One, just to kind of give our kids an opportunity to make sure that they were where they need to be on their academics. But we did give them some workouts and allowed them to kind of follow a plan for strength and conditioning on their own time, instead of trying to schedule something with kind of the protocols in Trotter in terms of limiting the number of students and the number of athletes in there at a time. Try to give them a way to fit their schedule that felt best for them and what they wanted to do. Try to give them some guidance on that. So this year's really been kind of different in terms of there hasn't been a whole lot of basketball specific stuff. It's just more trying to do a little bit of skill development in the fall, and then more just general athletic strength and conditioning type stuff here this semester so far.
And Coach Tebow, I know with you guys, you have been out there on the court. I know in my 6 weeks here at Monmouth, I've seen some student athletes down there getting some work in and getting some things done. What have you guys been doing obviously your season starts a little bit earlier as well and as we get into the fall, but what have you guys been going through?
Yeah, so back in the fall, we had kind of the same scenario as women's basketball. So we had group limitations on size and things like that. So we did a lot of skill development, single person, one-on-one type of things, really trying to get the freshmen caught up since they lost their senior season in travel ball and whatnot. So we were just trying to get them caught up, get them mixed in with the returners, just really get moving on those kind of things. And then this semester has been a little bit different. I've just been trying to help the girls focus in the classroom, and then just really prepare for the fall. So it hasn't been a lot of keep pushing forward, but just reps, maintenance, things like that. Keep them in the gym, keep them motivated for the fall. We have a big class coming in for the fall, and so keeping them focused and ready is our biggest goal, and we're really excited for it.
Coach Wilson, we look back on the last time we saw you guys out on the court in an NCAA game, going through that. As you look back on that now, a year later, what kind of memories come back about that? And obviously, I'm sure a lot of pride in what you guys were able to accomplish.
It seems like a lot more than a year ago, to be honest with you. It seems like forever. I think it's one of those things where it's always going to be something we look back on and hopefully take a lot of pride in. It's kind of nice. Even though we didn't play a game this year, I guess we're still technically the reigning champs for the Midwest Conference. So that's kind of cool. We get, 2 years out of it, even though we only won it one time. So it's been good in terms of, I think it's been a good motivating factor for some of our kids here, even though we're not playing. It's like, hey, we still are, technically are the Midwest Conference champs. So like when we do have an opportunity to get back on the floor, let's make sure we still have that level of competitiveness and that same level of drive and hopefully success at that point. So it's definitely been something that we've looked back on, or I have at least over the last 12, 13 months, whatever it's been, and just catch myself, especially when things aren't as fun as they normally would be with everything going on, and just try to find that positive, bright spot and keep going and keep moving along.
Talk about pride. I'd like to give a shout out to the Monmouth wrestling program from 60 years ago. Went undefeated the 1960-61 year. Jim Klusendorf making a big donation here this week and a matching gift as well. And a bunch of his teammates getting involved in those. We've got Tom Davis, Ken Knox, Carl Boring, Deeks Carroll, Bruce Anderson, John Phillips, and Luis Pronga, all part of that 60 years ago, went undefeated. That is their reunion year, so hopefully we'll be able to see them back on campus. I know they're challenging each other to make some gifts, and Jim Klusendorf with a big gift as well. All of that, we thank them for a big part of that. And Coach Wilson, maybe that'll be your crew in 60 years down the road, celebrating their conference title. Let's start with a 5-year reunion first, though, before we get to a 60-year reunion, which I don't think I'll be around for. But let's get to a 5-year reunion first, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. 60 years is gonna be. I'm fairly old too, so who knows if I'll be around kicking at that point. But that'd be kind of cool for us too. Just kind of be able to maybe every 5-10 years kind of come up with some type of matching campaign to kind of look back on the things that we had success on a year ago. And I think it'll be cool. We had, I think, 5 states represented on our roster last year. So, who knows where life's going to take each and every one of us. So the chances of us maybe getting all together at once is going to be really, really difficult going forward. So if we can come up with some type of program where, just every 5 or 10 years kind of have a way to remember and look back on the things that we were able to achieve a year ago, I think that'd be really cool.
Coach Tebow, when you hear about a group like that from 60 years ago that come together for a reunion year, challenge each other, what kind of memories does that give you from your playing days, now your early coaching days? And obviously there's a lot of chemistry and a lot of camaraderie on good, successful teams. And for them to go undefeated in 60 years ago, and it sounds like at least a few of them still stick together 60 years later, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that says a lot about a program, and I think that's exactly the type of programs that us as coaches are trying to build here. Tradition is rich here at Monmouth, and I think we really thrive off of that, and that's why our sports teams are as successful as they are. And so getting to watch that here and now, not only with basketball a year ago, but hopefully with more programs in the future, it's just really fun to watch the tradition to grow each and every year here at Monmouth.
We look at some of the programs in this great building that we're sitting in and different things around here that have been helped out and funded by the Day of Giving and the Scots Day and everything that's happened the last few years. And I know you guys and your student athletes use a lot of these. I mean, we're talking about the physical therapy area from 2 years ago with the new hydrotherapy tub and tables that Callie and Bob and they use to keep everybody in shape. The Trotter Fitness Complex, which was what we're looking for this year as well. The Kane Varsity Room, which everybody uses and gets involved in. Let's start with Coach Tebow and just a little bit about how your student athletes use Huff, use this entire area and everything involved with it.
Yeah, I think Huff is probably the biggest part of home for them here on campus. They spend a lot of time in this building, and we're very grateful for the whole building itself. We're a little spoiled, so I'm proud of what we have here. I think it's a huge benefit for our athletes. They get taken care of in every single aspect, and I think it's fun for them to show off when we have home games or share with recruits when they're on campus as well.
And Coach Wilson, your thoughts on different areas that your players use?
Yeah, I think Coach hit it right in terms of this is home for our athletes in terms of the amount of time that they spend here in this building compared to pretty much any other building on campus except for their dorms. So I think that it's huge. And being here 6 years and seeing some of the improvements that you mentioned, I think when I got here, we had very, very good facilities. But the 3 things you mentioned, Kane Room, the training room, the improvements in Trotter, those are 3 of the big things that we hit when a kid comes to visits and tours the building. And I think it's been huge in terms of creating interest and ultimately getting kids to join our programs here within the department. And I think that the more that we can continue to make improvements along those lines, just the better off it's going to be for the experience that our athletes have.
I know as we get spring sports back into action here over the last few weeks, and have gotten home games now in most of them. Tennis will be the next one to get going as far as home matches go in spring sports with this weekend. But Coach Tebow, you'll be on deck, as we use the sports reference there, with volleyball, and fingers crossed that we'll have more of a full house and get more people back in as we get get healthier as a community and all that. How much are you looking forward to that in your student athletes? And obviously we'll have some new freshmen and some sophomores that haven't experienced it either, but to get them out there and to get mom and dad and the students and the community back out there and support, because we'll have the fall sports will be the first to hopefully get a full house in there.
Yeah, I think the athletes are just super excited. Families as well. They're just looking at any way to compete and be back on the court with one another. I hear from the recruits every day about how excited they are to be here. So we're just really excited to get it going and hopefully make it as normal as possible. Any kind of competition is good for us at this point.
Yeah, Coach Wilson, I know you got to feel the same way along those lines. And like you mentioned, still conference champions. So when we get to that first home game in November, we can introduce you guys in front of a home crowd as the first time as conference champions. That'll be quite the thrill.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is just getting back into as much of a normal schedule as we can in terms of our practice, and get into some scrimmages and then compete against other people. But yeah, I think our kids are really, really looking forward to the opportunity to get out and play games, and just have that normal feel in terms of having friends and family and maybe some opponents' fans in the stands. So I think that just getting as close to back to normal as we possibly can is going to be huge for our athletes going forward.
And last one here, we'll start with Coach Wilson and go backwards on it. But how is this whole situation with high school kids not playing as many games and not getting as much? How has that changed recruiting? Has it been mostly for you done over video and not being able to get out and go to as many games in person? How has that changed things?
Yeah, it's definitely been different. We have, I think one of the biggest things for us was so many high schools actually live streamed their games this year. So it was really easy for me to, sit at home, even though we weren't allowed to go out and watch, where I could sit on my couch and I could watch 2 or 3 different kids playing one night, where on a normal year, you're going to spend 2 hours in a car, go watch one kid play, drive 2 hours back, maybe miss some practice, those sorts of things. So being able to just kind of sit at home and watch the live streams and kind of watch 20 minutes here and there and go back and forth and do those sorts of things has actually been kind of nice. At the same time, spend a little bit more time at home with their families. So that's been good. It's been a little bit of an adjustment in terms of, when you do that, you don't get the face-to-face interaction that you would. So you got to find ways to kind of overcome that. But at the same time, maybe it allows you to reach out to a kid via text or phone call a little bit more often, because you can say, hey, I watched, a little bit of this game, a little bit of that, where on a normal year, maybe you get to watch once every 2 or 3 weeks. This year, maybe we got to watch maybe once or twice a week. So there was more times to actually watch, and allowed us to have some of those post-game conversations a little bit more often, even though they weren't face-to-face.
Coach Tebow, has it been the same with you in volleyball as far as recruiting goes and being able to watch games on video?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been super great. Like Coach Wilson said, we've been able to watch more games probably than we would in a normal year. Just the adaptation that everyone has made in this whole process, even for high schools and for travel ball. Just programs have been created and used to be able to live stream everything, or to allow families to view if they can't attend either. So it's really made the process a little bit smoother. So we're very fortunate for it in the grand scheme of things. So being able to get the recruits some information about us as a college and whatnot, and then being able to get them onto campus after we've been able to watch them has been a huge plus for us as well. Just our admissions being able to figure all that out and get them to campus has been super great for us too.
We look forward to seeing all those new recruits and get them all in action coming up in September on the volleyball side and into November on the basketball side, and look forward to the success of the current and future Monmouth Fighting Scots. Coach Wilson and Coach Tebow, thank you very much for your time today and for talking Monmouth athletics, for helping us to raise some money. Appreciate your time. I know it's a busy schedule.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm Nathan Baliva, SID, back again, this time joined by head football coach Chad Braun. And Coach, thanks for your time today as we talk about Monmouth and the Scots Day of Giving, and so many different projects around this building we're sitting in have been funded by the Scots Day of Giving, and your players and student athletes obviously use all of that. How important is Huff and all the facilities we have to everything you guys do, your recruiting, the student athletes and everything they do?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're super appreciative. We have a great alumni base here at Monmouth College, and they've been, very supportive of our athletic programs and just do an excellent job giving back, to our programs. And we reap the benefits of, all the things that, they've been able to provide for our student athletes through the years. The Huff Center, obviously, it's an elite facility. Us being able to, upgrade the weight room a couple of years ago. I mean, it's a showpiece when recruits come on campus. You go in there and it's not only look good, but it's functional. It's great for our current athletes. Just a great facility for our players to use. Obviously all the things that, have been done on campus here for us. It's just a great benefit to our football program and every sport here on campus.
And I know when it comes down to game prep and getting ready for Saturdays, the varsity room and getting to use all the video and showing guys that's got to be a huge boost as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. Having the cane room down there it's just an incredible facility. I was fortunate enough when they dedicated that room to be able to go around and to see the look on Coach Kane's face when they revealed it to him. It was a special moment. And, Coach Kane, he's a legendary coach here, done a tremendous job. We have his grandson playing for us right now. So that's, there's a neat tie in the legacy there. But yeah, it's a great facility for us. To be able to use that cane room, it gives, our athletes a big time Division I feel, at a small college, So, it's an incredible facility. It helps our guys, get ready week in, week out for games.
I know I talked about it with Coach Wilson as well, but with the wrestling team from 1960-61, went undefeated. They're doing a challenge to each other to raise money throughout this entire process. And their reunion year, and Jim Klusendorf doing a big part of that and getting it set up with Deeks Carroll. You've had some very successful teams here, some conference champions. Do you envision, that reunion time when it comes for those teams, when it's, 10, 15, 20 years down the road? And I don't know that we want to start thinking 60 years down the road like they're doing for wrestling, but you'll have some pretty good and have had some pretty good reunion years and able to think back on those memories and kind of see the camaraderie of the players still together, years down the road.
Yeah, for sure. I think anytime you win a conference championship, you go undefeated. You have those special seasons you definitely remember. Those years, been fortunate to be part of, 7 conference championships here in my 21 years at Monmouth. So, they've all been really, really special. It's about time for that 05 team to start getting after it. They're getting up there now, Coach Freitag was part of that team. So we'll include him on that challenge.
Yeah, when we get to 20 years in a couple of years, they're gonna have to raise some money and match up with this wrestling team for us and get that done. I know off the field, it's a big weekend for the football program and being a big part of the community, which is obviously a big focus for everybody here at Monmouth. And you guys have got cleanup day coming up on Saturday. I know a lot of players and coaches and staff members looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously last year with COVID hitting us and not being able to get out in the community last year, It's kind of a strange thing, not taking part in it and getting back to doing it again this year. We're looking forward to just getting out there and, it's an experience that heck, both our freshmen and sophomore guys have never experienced it. So it'll be a new taste for them. It's a great thing. Our guys, I think when you serve, your community, I think it, teaches our guys a lot of things, but I think they get, blessed more than the people that they're helping, and I really believe that. But I think, going out and serving, I think it makes you a better teammate, all those things. So I think it's very important that we're getting back out there and doing that.
I know I'm looking forward to my first one, so I'll be right there with the freshmen and sophomores and checking that out. I'm looking forward to my first Saturday football day out here as well, and hopefully we'll have fans back at games in the fall. What are you most looking forward to of getting a new group of players? Obviously some returners, but first time they've all been together, in a year and a half, and it'll be 20 months by the time we get out there in the fall. What are you most looking forward to getting back into football?
Yeah, for sure. I'm most looking forward to guys putting pads on and being able to, get after it a little bit. That's the thing that I miss. We miss competing. Our guys love to compete. That's really the theme of our program. We have great competitors on our football program. And they miss competing against somebody else, but they've handled everything, with excellence. They've had a tremendous offseason. Our freshmen don't look like freshmen anymore. They look like college football players now. And they've done everything we talk about all the time: control what you can control. And we can't control what's going on in the world, but we can control on getting better every day. And our guys have used this time to continue to do that. And I feel really good about our football program. We're anxious to get back out there. We're anxious to get our fans back in the stands, and we're anxious to put a show on for our fans when we get that opportunity to get back out there. So really excited about this group. They're a great group of young men. They work hard every day. They represent us well in the classroom. They represent us well in the community. So we're looking forward to them getting back out there and getting their shot to play some ball again. And we're looking forward as coaches to getting back out on the field and being able to coach them.
Last one for you. I know you mentioned control what you can control, and obviously things have been way different and crazy. How has it changed for you and your coaching staff? Obviously, not many recruiting trips and getting to see games in person. A lot of interviews with prospective students, probably just like this. How has it changed what you guys do on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit. Obviously, usually, we're going into high schools meeting with young men and so now it's a different way of doing things, but our staff's done a great job overcoming the obstacles, and we feel really good about our recruiting class that we're putting together right now. We still have some pieces and parts that we need to finish up, especially in the secondary. We're graduating just such a vital group this year that would have had an outstanding year. So we really need to reload at that spot. But besides that, we feel really, really good about our recruiting class. A couple receivers, we need to get some receivers too. I guess I would mention that. Those are kind of two areas that we're still actively recruiting pretty heavy. And then, after that, we feel, really good, but, we feel like the group we put together so far, it's an impressive group. We're excited about them. We're excited for our fans to see them too. They're going to be a fun group to watch for the next 4 years. So, definitely different. We're used to doing some home visits and things like that. We haven't done a ton of those. We were fortunate to be able to get down to Florida and meet with some recruits down there, things like that. So, we, in the fall got to go out and watch a lot of Iowa football games. We actually got 3 Iowa, guys coming to play for us this year, which we haven't had a ton of success in Iowa. So I think that helped us a little bit. And then, now watching Illinois in the spring, that's been different, so, but it's we're able to at least get out and see some guys, and even look at some guys in the 2022 class too.
Hey, you're a quarterback coach now, right? Or just a quarterback dad?
Just a quarterback dad. No, I'm I let him do his thing on Friday night. I cheer. It's a lot different. I'm used to going out and watching, for years, I went out and recruited everybody else, and now on Friday nights, I get to go watch him play, and it's been a lot of fun this year. And it's exciting. Never thought I'd have a son that's a quarterback. I got that defensive mindset, and he's very different from me, but it's a good different, so excited about what, the year he's having, and hopefully he can finish out strong here.
Well, thanks for your time today. I look forward to the cleanup day this weekend, and seeing you guys out there in a few months. But thanks for joining us today.
No, I appreciate you having me on, Nathan.
That's Coach Braun. I'm Nathan Baliva from the athletic department. Thanks for tuning in.